everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Christine, and if you're new here today, thank you so much for joining me. If you've been here before, then you know that I recently included this clock in a thrift flip video. I took the easy off oven cleaner and sprayed it all around the outside of the wood, and I love how it turned out so much that I thought it would be kind of fun to dedicate this video to just the larger pieces of furniture that I've used this method on, that have turned out so great for me. I have definitely had some failures, but this video is just going to show you the ones that have turned out so good. And they were done over the summertime. I'm not the best at compiling videos and uploading them, but it is fun to look back and see the before and after. So I'm trying to get better, but hopefully this will give you some inspiration and encouragement if you want to try this method yourself. It can definitely turn out so awesome, and it can be a big flop as well, I know firsthand. But when it does turn out, it's so worth it. So let's jump in and go look at the good ones. Okay, to start out, I got this adorable table at the thrift store. And actually, before I show you all the before and afters, let's just pause, rewind for just a minute. I want to say thank you to all of you out there, because you guys are really the ones that helped educate me on this method. When I first heard of it, I thought it was absolutely crazy, but I tried it a few times and had some awesome pieces turn out and a bunch of failures. But you guys are really the ones that wrote in and helped me understand on the wood bowl that I did on my last thrift flip. The reason it didn't work on that is because there was such a thick polyurethane, lacquer, protective finish, whatever it was. The oven cleaner is meant because it cleans ovens to remove stains. So if you can think of it that way, it was so helpful to me. It removes the wood stain, and I don't know why I didn't think that through. And that's what gives the wood that light, raw appearance that I love so much, but doesn't necessarily work on a lacquer, thick, finished coating. And I think that's why some of my projects have turned out awesome and some others have been big bummers. Comment if you've had a failure too, but hopefully that helps one of you out there, and if so, fantastic. But back to this cutest little table that I found at the thrift store. I'm going to leave my favorite project for later in this video, so stay tuned. But this little end stand, nightstand is so cute. It's the perfect height for me, and I usually can't find them this tall. It's got like a thin veneer on the outside, so let's see how it works on that. But I love these little legs. They're so cute. And that little shelf inside above the cabinet. I only paid $15 for this, so a great deal. I don't like that little hardware handle, but that's easy to change. So I started out with just a little abrasive sponge to remove all these stickers. And then I took a degreaser and scrubbed the whole piece really well. I'm trying to determine right here how thick that veneer is, if I could sand it down and what it would look like underneath. I'm just scratching it a little bit and I can kind of see the underneath peek through. And then I took this piece outside because thank you to the person who wrote in and said how important it was to inform everyone it is good to put this in a well-ventilated area. Wear a mask, gloves. There's really harsh chemicals, so all the appropriate things because it is a chemical. And then I sprayed it on there everywhere. And apparently you're supposed to use the blue can. I have tried the yellow cans, and it's true, they didn't work as well. And I do know that you are not supposed to use the ones at the dollar store because they're just not strong enough, which makes sense. But here is what it looks like after 10 minutes. And you can really see the detail of where it's bubbling up. It's really starting to go to work. And it's also a really hot day, so I think the sun is working to my advantage as well. Okay, it has been 30 minutes now, and you can kind of start to see it's drying a little bit almost, I think because of the sun. Look inside that shelf. That's actually a great visual of how well it starts to bubble up and just really work on that stain. Then I grabbed some warm water and a bristly brush and proceeded to just scrub this really well. And watching this video back, I don't really see a huge difference yet on the video, but I must have seen something in person that day because this is what I said. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. What the heck? And I kind of wonder right there if those really light spots, it's just eating through the veneer. I just sprayed this off. And I can already see it is so much lighter. But so far, so good. I'm actually starting to love this piece. You can see those big splotches on top. And again, I wonder if that's where it just ate right through the veneer. So I'm going to let this fully dry and do another coat. And I'm hoping that it will all turn out to be like that. Here's another view. I got to do the inside of the top again. I don't necessarily care about the inside of the shelf, but look how pretty that is right there. That would be so beautiful if it all turns out like that. The top, where it's kind of eating through the veneer, looks good. The sides look fantastic. So I did a couple more applications of the Easy Off, and I love how this turned out. Now, a few of you may not like the front door because I think the veneer kind of gave it a marbled effect, but I actually think that that's what I like best about it, is it has an old weathered appearance to it. Want to be my helper today? Should we go bye-bye? Huh? Should we go get some furniture? Let's go. Okay, for this next project, I got this long couch table or entryway table, and I paid a bit more for it because I got it on Facebook Marketplace, but I love everything about it. Those long drawers, those cute legs, everything about it except for the dark color of the stain. I don't mind it, it's just too dark for my room, but you can tell there's just a really thick layer of that dark gel stain. And I really want to take it back down to the raw wood. And I know it's there because here's an example. Right inside that drawer, you can see the natural color of the wood. And I want to get back to that. So this project is a combination of sanding and the oven cleaner. And to be honest, when I started this project, I completely didn't think of the oven cleaner. And I wish I would have first because it probably would have cut my time in half. It would have been a lot easier, get it, than sanding. I'm all about a good furniture transformation, but sanding for several days definitely makes me lose interest pretty quickly. But that is what I did. And after wiping it down, you can see my project there thus far. And I am really loving the light raw wood. But you can see underneath there and the legs and all those nooks and crannies. I just do not enjoy hand sanding all those little nooks and crannies. But for a table like this, you definitely have to. I'm thinking this is looking so beautiful right now, but I still have to do all of these little areas by hand. Again, the reason I've included this piece of furniture is just to give you all a reason to try the oven cleaner, because I bet it would have worked amazing. And hang tight because I do use it on the drawers. But how pretty is that light wood thus far? Oh, and in that little crease, I bet the oven cleaner would have worked a dream inside of those little areas. And I am painfully including this footage because it's just a reminder to me and you that you could definitely use the oven cleaner at this point. And then when I was almost done, except for the tiny spots, this is where I remembered I could actually use the oven cleaner. So I grabbed the drawers, and this is where I used the yellow can of oven cleaner. And I don't think it worked as well, but it didn't work too bad. And just used one of those bristle pads to scrub it really well, and scrubbed the heck out of this. And you can see, even though it's the yellow can and I don't think it works as good as the blue can, look at that difference right there. And if I could just get back all my time that I spent sanding, I would. But this is where I'm at right here, this beautiful raw pale wood. And so now I want to create that caramely tone that I love. So I took natural wood stain, mixed it with half early American, and I just proceeded to wipe that on with a lint-free towel. And I'm trying to match this wood bowl that I have, just the color of it. I think it's so pretty. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. I definitely need to do another coat, but that is what I'm trying to match. And there's a great visual of the contrast between the two, so that's what I'm aiming for. And I've already stained the drawers, but I forgot to take a picture after the oven cleaner. But just to give you an idea, there is where I sanded down, and there is the drawer. There is still some residue you can see of that dark stain in there that I could not remove with the oven cleaner. But I actually really like it. I think it just adds to the rustic charm, and it kind of has that perfectly imperfect look. I still need to get some gold knobs. I'm going to be really patient. I want to thrift some antique gold knobs that I don't have yet, so hopefully I'll find something soon. But let's take a look at the before and remember what it looked like. And I am so in love with this piece now. Okay, the last and my favorite project, and it was kind of risky because this was the only coffee table I could find that was this large. And I had been hunting high and low for a large coffee table to match these large couches we have. And I found so many cute coffee tables with light wood, everything I wanted, but they did not fit proportionally to the couches. So I needed to find something to match the scale, and we also wanted something big enough that we can play games on. So when I found this on Facebook Marketplace, I was so excited about the size, but obviously not that dark stain. In fact, when I went to go pick it up, the lady was selling it because she said it was way too dark. So I paid $100 for it, which I thought was a screaming deal. I was excited to race home and see if I could lighten this wood. I've taken the drawers out and I'll show you those in just a minute. They have such cute, chunky hardware. You can see right there, it had these metal pieces on the side. I've already started to pop up. They just kind of outdate the piece and it doesn't really match my style. But that's an excellent visual to show you where I've popped off those metal pieces, how light it is underneath that dark, kind of a coffee colored stain. And so that gave me my first bit of hope that this was definitely going to work. And look at how cute these amazing, chunky, crusty, rusty, old beat up handles that I absolutely love. I would have paid $100 for those alone. There's my first layer of the oven cleaner. And when I say first layer, I have always had to do multiple layers on each piece of furniture. Please comment if you do as well. But I joke because I spend more on oven cleaner than I do on the furniture pieces. But I tried putting on thicker layers and putting it in the sun or putting it in the shade. But for me, I have to put several layers. Just a note to you, I think I ended up doing 5 on this piece alone, which is a lot, but every single time you do it, even more of the stain is removed and it just motivates me to keep moving forward. And it's so satisfying when you're scrubbing it and it starts to reveal the light wood underneath. So that keeps you motivated and wanting to go back for more. Here's me spraying it on the drawers, and this gives you kind of an indication of how thick I spray it on, which I think is a good amount, but I'm going to show you here in a minute the contrast between the two drawers. One of them I did several coats and the other one I only did a couple, so you can kind of see the contrast between the two. And then here is where it gets satisfying. Look at the drip down on the cement. That color is literally coming off of the piece. Be prepared for a lot of scrubbing because you will scrub your little heart out. And it takes a while, but based on the last project, it is so much easier and quicker than sanding it. I can say that much for sure. There's some clean water. So round 2. And I'm not going to bore you with all the layers that I did. I just want to kind of give you some visuals of how it's working on this piece. Here is an excellent visual of the two drawers. The top drawer, I have only done 2 coats of the Easy Off. The bottom, I had done the total of 5 layers. And that shows you the difference between the two. So you just have to stick with it until it finally lightens to where you want it to be. And be patient because it doesn't really start to show the light color. When you spray it off with the hose, it doesn't really show immediately how light it's going to be until it's fully dry. And at the end, I did take a very light piece of sandpaper, 220, and lightly sanded the top after everything had completely dried for several days, just to get rid of some of those watermarks. And you can see that the oven cleaner had already done its job, but I just wanted to kind of smooth everything out, and it revealed some wormholes and knots, and I just think it turned out so beautiful. I am so happy with this piece that I want to do this over and over. So I brought it back inside and I did put a couple of layers of protective coating on this because we will be using it a lot, but I chose a matte finish. I do not want any shine or sheen on this. I want it to maintain just that raw, authentic wood. And so I just put 2 coatings of polyurethane in the end to give it some protection. I put this chunky hardware back on that I'm in love with, and I could not be more happy about this gorgeous piece of furniture. Let's take a look at the before one more time. And I'm going to show you here in a minute just the contrast because I did not do the insides of the drawers, and it is so beautiful. Would you take a look at how beautiful this is now? I honestly think this is so pretty. You can see all the variation of wood on top, the different layers, when before it was one dark color. Now you can see the different variation of the wood. The legs turned out perfectly, the sides. I think this is so cute. So that's 3 projects, all of them a little bit different. I hope it's given you some inspiration to go out and try this method on your own. You got to see this big chunk of goodness that I'm babysitting this week, and her being my big helper. But I thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me today. I greatly appreciate it. Please give me a big old thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because it sure does help my channel. And I hope the rest of your day is absolutely awesome. See you soon.